My name is Grace Karlik. I am the community navigator for the Office for New Americans. I'm Syracuse born and raised, so it's actually very excited to be a part of this event. I work within InterFaith Works of Central New York, and it was an organization that was founded in 1976 to build bridges of understanding among us. We are so excited to have you here tonight. We're very honored to have our guests here to talk about the New American experience and being a woman. So first, I want to hand the floor over to Bill to give a little bit of an introduction because we're co-hosting this tonight with Manlius Library, an ardent supporter and someone we're very lucky to work with.
Well, thank you, Grace. I'm Bill Loveland. I'm the Public Services Librarian at Manlius Library in Manlius, New York. We're just off on the eastern suburbs of Syracuse. And we're very grateful for Grace's hard work in making this evening's event possible and for our continued relationship with InterFaith Works. And of course, very grateful for the generosity of tonight's guests. We're looking forward to learning a lot from their stories tonight.
Thank you. It's always quite an honor to work with our community partners and of course work with our community members as well. And in front of us, we have quite an amazing group of women and it's so excited to meet you in person, quote unquote, for the first time. I've been emailing back and forth with them for quite a long time, texting. But yeah, I want to extend the opportunity for you to introduce yourselves as well. So Cecina, would you like to kick us off? And I'll just call each person after. Tell us your name, where you're from, and one thing you like to do in your spare time, if you have any.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure seeing all of you tonight. My name is Cecina Adams. I'm originally from Johannesburg, South Africa. And one thing that I like to do during my leisure time is, oddly enough, watch crime documentaries. For some reason, they're interesting.
Thank you, Cecina. Manu, would you like to tell us your name, where you're from, and one thing you like to do in your free time?
Okay, well, hello there. I am Manu Chetri. I was born in Bhutan, but I'm a refugee actually from Nepal. And I came here to Syracuse in 2011. And when I have free time, what I like to do is I like to have fun with my friends, and I'd like to go to different states and meet deaf people and deaf New Americans, either actually going there or chatting on the video phone. We like to support the deaf New American community and also, of course, spend time with my family.
And Manu just had a little one, so congratulations, Manu, on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Valentina, tell us your name, where you're from, and one thing you like to do in your free time.
I'm Valentina, and I'm originally from Iraq. And I like enjoying my time with my 3 little kids I have. I have Diamond, Ali. Diamond is 6 years old. Diamond is 6 years old. I have Ali is 4 years old, and Emerald is 3 years old. And I'm very busy, Mama. Yes. Yeah, and sometimes I like to watch some shows and look around on the internet. I like to read a lot. Yeah, and I just start from a few months to work with print, and this makes me feel very good. And this first time to me like work. Yeah, and I really enjoy my time with print. Yes, and that's it.
Excellent. That's it. You guys are all so busy. You're like, oh, that's it. No, you guys, thank you so much for sharing. Iman, your name, where you're from, and one thing you like to do.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Iman from Syria. I came here in 2016. Actually, I'm a student. I'm doing my bachelor accounting of SU, Syracuse University. And I'm so happy with that. Free time, you think Syracuse University give you free time to go out? I don't think so, but sometimes I watching TV movies with my daughter, which she love Marvel movies. So every Friday or Saturday we have watching one.
Excellent.
I have 3 kids. I have 16, the youngest, and one boy, he is 20. And the oldest, she is 23.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank
I've
you.
just been getting into Marvel movies myself, so maybe we could chat afterwards about your
Yeah.
favorites.
Sure, anytime.
And last but absolutely not least is Tamana. Please tell us where you're from, your name, and one thing you like to do.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Tamana Ahmadi from Afghanistan. I just arrived to New York City, Ithaca City, and I just joined Cornell University. I'm going to start my undergraduate here. I would like to majoring in global and public health. And in free time, I have many things to do. Especially, I'm so interested in doing workout and hiking, and every day for an hour, I'm just walking around the campus and going hiking with some friends. And also, I like to do some games like Rubik's Cubes. I'm doing this in my free time. And also, I'm one of, I can say, a K-pop group. If there is BTS, I'm one of fan of them. And in free time, I'm just watching their videos and songs. That's all.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing and for sharing this space with us. It's really an honor to get to know each of you. So we got a whole bunch of questions in from the community. I had some myself, and we're going to go through as many as we are able. We're going to do our best to get through them all. There were quite a few. I asked that participants, aside from our guests here, please remain on mute until we have the opportunity to open up the floor for people to, if you had an idea that was sparked or another question that you thought of, if we have time for that, we absolutely want to hear what you think. But we definitely want to uplift and continue to listen to the voices of the amazing women that we have here in front of us. So we're just going to get right into the first question. If you want to answer the question, you could either use the hand raising function on Zoom, or you could just raise your hand on the screen. So the first question is, what does it mean to you to be a new American or a refugee? Imam?
Yeah, I can answer this. Actually, new America, being a new American is mean for me, it being new culture that I have been exposed to. It's mean meeting new people with different perspective, belief, and background. It's mean trying new food, new place, new habits. It's that are common in the community, but for me, it's new. Also, being a new American means making sure that my voice is heard and sharing my perspective with others. That's what new American means for me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the idea of everything being new, being a new American, being new to here, but also sharing from what you know and your perspective and really growing that community around you. Absolutely. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to give an answer or talk about their experience a little bit?
I think this is a very complicated question, but I think complex in the sense that it's very hard to, describe in a linear way, how like one identifies, especially being a new American, because for a lot of, so at least I speak for myself, like when you leave your home country, you're essentially stateless, right? And you don't have that sense of, in a way, like so in the US, people are very patriotic, right? Love your country and all that. And it's different for me because growing up, I didn't have that, right? And it was really difficult trying to figure out who I am in a place that I didn't feel like I belonged. But coming to the US, I feel like things have, changed, and I've felt accepted. I've found a sense of belonging, and a place to call home, a place where I can actually say, like, I can identify with the people around me, and feel the hospitality of the people, and their welcoming sort of, kindness, and that has truly, like, made me realize that, I don't know, when you feel so lost, and you come to a place where people are so welcoming, you feel home. And I think that's what being a New American means for me, like finding a place to call home.
Thank you, Cecina. And I see a lot of heads nodding in the crowd where people are like, yeah, it's much more than just a place. It's that feeling. It's the people you're near. Absolutely. And I see Mano's hand is raised.
Hello there. For me, as a deaf New American, what that means is that I was, being born in Bhutan, and then I went to a refugee camp in Nepal. And for me, I had so many limitations on me there in the refugee camp. It definitely was not my home, and I did not feel in any way equal with the people that were around me. But then when I came to the United States, I worked very hard, and I really became rooted here in Syracuse. And for me, I feel like this is indeed my home. I have become an American citizen, and I'm very proud of that. And I work, I've purchased a home, I got my driver's license. I've achieved so much here that I never could have achieved where I was in Nepal. And I am indeed an American. But as a refugee, the word refugee, I've experienced that as myself. I've seen people that have looked down on me because of that. The word refugee sometimes has a negative connotation. And so that's why our community prefers to call themselves deaf New Americans, because it has more of a feeling of power and of independence. And that's who we are.
Thank you so much, Manu. And I think you're speaking to a really important part, is what language we use has a lot of power on how we identify in our communities and the ways in which we move in our communities as well. So thank you so much. So Valentina, Tamana, do you want to add anything to that? Or I've got plenty of questions, so don't feel any pressure.
As a New American, I feel very happy and proud of this. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Something that, came when we were talking about this is, what is your first memory of living in Central New York? What is the first thing you remember when you came to New York or the Central New York community that sticks out to you? Anyone have anything to speak with that?
I don't want to answer all questions, but I have one thing. Maybe everyone outside of United States will know that we watching United States on the movies. So when you came here, you have movies in your head. So you think building, you think it's like technology like that, and you you have button to open the door, you have button to close the door. Everywhere it's maybe outside of the world, but so when I came here, I saw first view of Syracuse. It was at November, and it's really like a movie. It's like a heaven when you see different colors of trees, and it's fall, so you have orange, blue, yellow, purple, every color from the sky. So that moment, I believe I came to see a movie here. Then every movie has happy ending, so I'm so happy with my end, because I achieved my dream and I achieved what I came for. Maybe this memory, I will not erase this memory from my brain.
Thank you so much for sharing, and you can answer every question you want, Iman, so please. Tamana, I saw you raised your hand, you're nodding your head a lot. Do you want to add to that?
For me, I can say from high school, it was my goal to come to United States and start my education here. And after the evacuation from the country, and we came from Saudi Arabia to Spain, Spain to Washington DC, and from Washington DC we went to Wisconsin. At first, I had no idea that I'm going to the refugee camp, and I was happy because everyone said that we are here, we are in the United States, and I was happy. Oh, I'm here finally. I came to United States, and yeah, I'm here finally. And I had no idea that I will go to the refugee camp. When we entered to the refugee camp and I saw Afghan refugees and other people, I was shocked. Completely, it changed. Before 1 minute before, I was so happy. When I saw other Afghan refugees and a lot of other people, I was shocked. Oh, I really came to the United States. Is it United States? And after 3 months, we moved to New York City. As Imam said that like movies, there were American in my head was like big buildings, skyscrapers, everything. But I went to Syracuse and there wasn't any skyscrapers. At first, it was the weather, everything was nice, but I didn't see any skyscrapers. And I moved to Ithaca and I came to Cornell. I really love here the nature, the environment, the university. Everything is so nice. Yeah. That's all.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tamana. I really appreciate that response because, man, these movies, they have a lot of power and we envision one thing and it can feel totally different when we're there. Manu.
Well, for me, one of my first memories was when I arrived here in the United States. When we landed, I actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know where we landed. I had no concept. There, I think it was New York because there was a sign that said "Welcome to the United States," but I didn't actually know what city I landed in or even what state for that matter. But when we finally touched down, the first thing I saw was this white stuff on the ground. And I thought that it was January. So I thought that, oh, it must be some kind of a Christmas celebration. Somebody's put some fake white stuff on the ground. And when we got there, I realized, oh my goodness, it's actually real snow. I had flip-flops on. I had no concept of what the climate was going to be there. And one of the social workers that I ran into there with a resettlement agency, she brought me right away to get socks and shoes and winter coats and everything. We had to really quickly change in the airport bathroom because it was winter here. And so then we got ready to leave. And it was interesting when I was there, I saw these trees with no leaves on. They were naked trees. And I thought, oh my goodness, this country has no leaves on their trees. Of course, I didn't realize it was because of the snow and because of the change in the seasons. I thought that was what it was all about. And then I realized, oh, here we go. The spring comes and now the trees grow again. But where I live, the season is pretty much the same 12 months of the year. And then when I came here, all these different seasons were quite interesting and quite amazing. But one other thing that was very interesting for me as a deaf individual, I remember arriving here and I had at that time, my daughter was 2 years old. Now she's 14. Wow, goes fast. But that time she was 2 years old. And when I got here, I was starving and I was still nursing my baby, as was common in our culture. And I was so hungry. And I saw this picture of this apple and I thought, oh, I want that apple. I wish somebody would give me an apple. There was like a bowl of them there, but I was, of course, way too afraid to ask. I was famished. I wanted to eat something so bad and I really wanted that apple and I never got it, but I didn't have any way to communicate or ask anyone about it. I'll just never forget that, how hungry I was. But now I can buy all the apples I want at my house. Never a problem again.
The shock of Syracuse snow. I can only imagine how that must feel the first time seeing that. And apple, I mean, how much more American can you get than an apple? Apple pie, applesauce, all the apple things, especially in New York, in central New York. So thank you for sharing that with us, everyone. And thank you for giving us kind of a more detailed picture of what it was like to first arrive here and how you felt. Valentina, I see your hand is raised. Cecina, you can go right after her.
Me too. I came first, when I came to here was in December. and it was a lot of snow, and and it was a little bit sad for me because I was excited. I want to go and see the place and go around. Yeah. And after that, I got pregnant. And I think the happy moment for me here, I having my little girl, my first little girl, Diamond.
Thank you so much. That I'm glad. I hope to meet your little ones. They sound so precious and so sweet, and it's really beautiful that a wonderful first memory is the birth of your child. Cecina?
When we were, so before we came, we were talking to our resettlement agency, like the caseworker, and she had told us like, pack thick winter coats, buy some winter boots, and you know, in South Africa we don't get snow and it's not really cold. So we thought, you know, buying just a regular jacket and regular like boots would do it. But when we got here, that was not the case. And I remember when we got into our apartment, and at the time we didn't have a TV, so we were bored, really bored. And now we're like, we were also jet lagged, so we'd sleep during the day and, you know, stay up at night. And after a week, we forced ourselves to sort of follow the time zone here. And my older sister came up with a bright idea to help us, you know, sort of get over the boredom, and that's to go look for a store that sells a TV. And we didn't have, we didn't know where we were, or, you know, where the nearest store was. So we came out of the apartment and just walked down the street, stopped a passerby, asked them where like a store to buy a TV is, and the lady told us, oh, go down, I don't know if you guys are familiar, go down Erie Boulevard and just walk down that road all the way to like the Walmart direction, all the way to East Syracuse. And we did that, but we didn't understand how far the distance was. So the four of us, my older sister, brother, younger sister, tracked for an hour looking for Kmart, because the lady we had talked to told us that Kmart was like down the street. And we assumed like, oh, down the street. And she told us it's like 4 street lights ahead. So we walked those 4 street lights. It was really cold because we didn't have, you know, the clothes for the climate. And by the time we got to that 4th street light and we expected to see a Kmart building somewhere, that was not the case. Instead, there was a McDonald's and we didn't understand what was going on. But that, you know, that story always reminds me of how, I don't know, resilient my siblings and I are, where we're able to, like, once we come up with an idea and we have like a conviction to see it through, we just, you know, push forward. Sadly for us, we had to walk the hour to that supposed Kmart and then walk an hour back home. But it was still a great experience. I think we laughed along the way, just trying to think of things to do once we got home, because we hadn't ended up getting that TV. But it was still a cool experience.
Thank you so much for sharing. I'm laughing because I know where that McDonald's is, and I'm like, no, that's not the location. But yeah, as you said, the resiliency, you know, you're trying to communicate, trying to make your way, trying to get there, coming back, and not having a proper winter coat. Even in those moments that are joyous, we still see a lot of resilience. Yeah, that's a great story, and I hope that memory continues to live on through the stories as you get together with everyone in your family. So yeah, I mean, the first memory of living in Central New York, kind of building on the idea of what it means to be a new American, what it means to be a refugee. What do you think is important for non-new Americans or non-refugee people in the community in Central New York to know about new Americans and to know about refugees? What do you think is important for them to know?
Okay, I will start. I believe there's okay. Actually, because I was not a new American. Then I am a new American now. So I'm not American at all. So I know how have we faced obstacle. So I believe if if they can help them to avoid this obstacle of challenge they want to through if they first come here. It's really important here to easiest the process of a newcomers and making sure that the people here have some people help them for a first couple of months. Like, I believe the first step is they guide them to go to school to learn the language. So if there are any events or something, help them to go life cycle here, because first doctor, first, like when she lost her way to go to supermarket. So if there are events or brochures, or maybe teachers can make one class for a week to teach them how the life is here in America. So I believe at the beginning I took like 1 year to find good place to start to go to university. Nobody teach me, nobody tell me. So I go from place to place, person to person, to find a right way to go to college first, then guide me to go to university. So I believe in school maybe. So I don't know, there's a library here. I don't know if where is the maybe pharmacy, where is the hospital, how can I call 911? I don't know anything. So this, it's basic, it's nothing for American people because it's regular life for them, but for us it's really, really hard to find. And I believe that's helpful.
Absolutely. Sharing information for something that feels regular to us, but sharing information with people who may be experiencing it for the first time. And that's critical, as you're saying, like going to the doctor, going to school, getting to the supermarkets, knowing where to go is huge. And Manu, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, wow. I want to add one more comment. You're exactly right, especially for people that are deaf or have a disability or a vision impairment. That definitely makes it much more difficult and creates many more barriers. If if there are people that are deaf or or people that have disabilities, it's really important that you enable them to connect with their community. And there are leaders here in the different refugee communities, and we're always happy to support people when they come and help them find the right resources and help them connect with what they need. Because for me, after 6 months, we lost, well, actually here, wait a minute, wait, what do you mean? I'm sorry, the interpreter's catching up. Like, for example, you only have social work services for a short time, like 6 months, and then you're basically dropped. And for other people, they might be able to figure it out. But for us as deaf individuals, it was very difficult. Where can we find any kind of support? If you go to a doctor, they you still need support, you still need access, but our 6 months of services are over, but yet we still need services. So it's really important, if there are any individuals in the community that are deaf or have other disabilities, please have them contact me. I can help them find the right way, the right services that can help them move along and what they need after that. So I just wanted to add that bit. There are tons of barriers for people that are deaf. I've been experiencing myself, but if anybody goes through that or knows someone that does, have them get in touch with me.
Thank you, Manu. And Manu's actually starting a new organization to help people in the deaf New American community. And so it's really admirable. And, we hope to see it continue to grow. It's really, I thank you for offering your services and for being so open to the people who are here, and, word spreads. So I second Valentina with the heart. Tamana.
Yeah, for me as a refugee or non-American here, for me it wasn't hard because it was we came to the university directly, and the people in the university help us, and I think because of that I haven't faced any difficulties, any problem when I came here to the Ithaca. And one of my friends, she came before us here, she came individually, and she told us her story when she first came here, because she was alone and there wasn't no one to help her, and she was new at the university, and she needed to find everything, and she needed to find the classroom, teacher office, and everything. And she said that the first day of my life here, it was hard. For me, it wasn't, because here there are a lot of people that they are helping us with the doctor or market inside the university and everything. Yeah, as others say, that it's really good to provide those opportunities for the non-American, those who are new and refugee. They're facing problems with everything, and America is a country full of rules and laws, and it's some kind of hard for the first time. Yeah.
Thank you, Timana. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Cecina.
I'd like to add on to everything else that everyone else shared. For coming here, my siblings and I arrived as unaccompanied minors. Both our parents passed away, and we were all kids trying to take care of each other, and it was really hard. One, navigating a new system, new country, trying to figure out your place in the world, but also how to acclimate to this environment. And it got really lonely, where all of us were so depressed because we didn't know who to turn to or who to ask for support. And I think it would be amazing if a mentorship, if you may, companionship program, if that was established, to at least connect people like myself who felt so isolated in a country that had so many opportunities, but we didn't even know where to go to sort of seek them out and make the most of them. And I'm very grateful that I was able to be connected with my community, who then helped me find my way and sort of get my voice, and be able to advocate for people like me. So that would be amazing, to help individuals who, especially those that come alone, not feel that strong sense of isolation and loneliness.
Thank you. And I've heard that before, that a mentorship program, kind of that togetherness, that social network, that social safety net, where we come together and do more of an individual, personalized approach, but also creating weaving those tighter nets so that we ensure that everyone is feeling together and safe and supported in their journey. So I still have some questions, but I wanted to kind of open the floor up to our community to see if anyone had any questions from what we're talking about thus far, any ideas that came to mind while listening to our incredible women that we have here. And you could put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, whatever you feel comfortable with. As I said, I still have questions, so nobody feel any pressure, but if you have questions, thoughts, ideas, please in the chat, unmute yourself. This is a great opportunity to chat with people who are leaders in our communities.
I have a question. Hi everybody, I'm Kyle. I live in Syracuse and work at the farm in the valley area in Syracuse called Brady Farm. And as a new farmer, and I wonder, what is the something that urban farm or farm around here can do to support people who come into this place from different country. And I myself is from Japan, migrated to US, and I had a lot of culture shock and disconnect of the food culture a little bit, because the rest of my family is all American. But I wonder, in the context of the food and the place as a farm in the urban area, is there something that we could support?
I think, certainly InterFaith Works does a lot of great work in the community. And I think maybe creating a partnership with InterFaith Works to possibly, allow, new Americans the opportunity to visit your farm, see the type of work that you do. A lot of these families come from agricultural backgrounds where they farm for their livelihoods. And I think, having the opportunity to at least explore a place that has that cultural connection in a sense, would benefit a lot of them to help them feel at home, or at least, feel a piece of home in their new environment, and explore the different sort of jobs that are on the farm, or the different things that are done on the farm, and also get out of Syracuse, the city, and see a new place, and just be exposed to the different parts of America, because I feel like a lot of us, when we come to one place, we stick to that place and we don't necessarily move around to see the different opportunities that are out there. So I think that might be a great place to start.
Thank you.
Does anyone else who is on the call have questions or an idea that they would like to talk about with the women that we have here? All right. Well, I will. Yeah, Kaio, do you have another question?
Yeah, I have many questions. What are the exciting projects that each of you ladies working right now that you want to say to the world, like, hey, I'm doing this and I want you to know about it? Either what you are initiated, or like from something that you see around within your community or circle of friends. Yeah.
I love that question, and I encourage each of the women here to talk about a project or something they're working on that they're really excited about. Yeah, Imam.
Okay, beside my degree, I opened my own business. It's a grocery market. It's at a Boulevard, next to Price Chopper. It's like advertising here. Actually, it's a supermarket or grocery market. My husband is butcher, and we own our company in our country, so we don't know. My husband didn't know how to work under people, so I do. Beside my study, when I start studying business, I know how to start own business. So I did that. So it's good. It's good because he feel like he own his business and he worked for himself, for our family. And you can find fresh meat, fresh chicken anytime. And cultural food also. It's not just Arabian, it's Turkish or Morocco or any other countries. So so welcoming you if anyone want to visit us. This is my project, and I hope it's success next in future. Oh, the name, it's Leader Market. I would love to see you there. Actually, I'm not there always, but I'm visiting them in the evening and weekend.
Thank you so much. That's so exciting. I'm gonna get there. We're gonna make a stop over there. So thank you so much. That's something to be very proud of and very excited by.
Yeah, actually, most of worker in InterFaith visit us because I know some of them, and I'm so proud that I was a refugee. I came from Syria, and InterFaith, whose first place who welcoming me and guide me to this state, and I'm so proud that most people working in InterFaith is say hi or hello, we remember you, I saw you before. So it's give me like, oh, I do something.
That's very touching, and that means a lot to hear that. And I can tell you that, people at InterFaith Works, we're all very proud of the work that you're doing. And, this is what community is all about, supporting one another. So Valentina, Tamana, Asina, Manu, project that you're excited about, that's getting you jazzed. It's feeling good. Yeah, Tamana.
For me, I'm a student, and besides studies and learning, there is nothing that I'm doing. And university assigned me in a laboratory and in that lab, the professor and students are doing research on ants and insects. And I just started, and maybe for a month I will be there just to watch others that how they're doing the research. And I think after a month or 2 months, I will start my own projects on ants and insects, maybe butterflies. I really love butterflies, and maybe I'm going to do my project on ants and insects. I'm so excited about that.
That is super cool. I am myself very into insects as well, so we could chat about it some more. Yeah. And Bill put in the chat the link to Iman's store. So everyone, please check that out if you're able. So Valentina, Cecina, Manu.
Yeah, I'd like to add something. This year in 2022, we're planning to have a national conference for deaf new Americans right here in Syracuse. And it's a wonderful opportunity to create resources, make connections, meet with other individuals around the country that are working with deaf new Americans. We'd like to have an opportunity to educate deaf new Americans and other people about how to work with them. And so I have some other projects, but we're not quite ready with that one yet, but we're in the process of doing some other wonderful things. So I invite you all to come to the conference if you're interested in learning how to work with deaf new Americans.
Absolutely. If you want to send me an invitation, yeah, we can. I'll applause. This is
I'd be happy to. Yeah, I'll definitely send one out.
Yeah, please send it to me, and I'll send it to everyone who's here tonight. So
that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Yeah, Iman.
Actually, my daughter, she can't speak, and she learned how to use sign language at school, but because over 21, so there is no school anymore. So I would love to bring her and to meet Mono, and maybe I can find program for her. Maybe I can find friend for her. She will be happy. She has disability with
definitely welcome her. Definitely the deaf new American community would welcome her with open arms. That's wonderful. It doesn't matter where they're from, or we have a very strong group of deaf new Americans here in central New York. So please reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to her.
Thank you so much.
So I was recently brought on as a youth and fellowship coordinator for Choma Jock's congressional campaign. And that's been very exciting, being involved on the campaign and learning about, politics and trying to be more civically engaged. I think it's very important that, new Americans participate in politics and voice their needs and be represented in some capacity in government. And with new Congress women and men, Ilhan Omar, Ocasio-Cortez, that representation is important, especially for young kids who don't necessarily see that in a lot of spaces. So it's very exciting to see Chol sort of help to sort of pave the way for new Americans here in Syracuse.
Thank you so much, Cecina. And I can't wait to hear more about that. I've been hearing little bits and pieces, but as we get closer, I can't wait to hear more. Valentina, is there anything that you're working on that you feel, or something that you like to do that you feel excited about?
From I come to here till now, I was focused on my family. And just now, my kids, it's like too young, and I was focused on my kids. But now I start working with Hoprint, and I thinking now to do my GED. Maybe I'll do college. And I thinking about business too. And I call some people about, they give me some information, but I will not talk about this now because everything is just idea. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited to start new things and learn new things. Yes, and I hope I will do everything I have in my head.
And we hope you do too. I think that's a huge step, starting that educational process. And, it's an honor to have you be a member of our community, and we're excited to see the path that you take. So we've got only a few more minutes left. An hour flies by when you're having fun. Anyone have any questions, thoughts, kind of to wrap us up? And also, if we're looking in the chat, Bill put the Deaf New American Advocacy Center, their Facebook information in there. Olive would love to hear reflections about what you feel you learned about yourselves through the resettlement experience and by making home in Central New York. So what have you learned about yourself while resettling into Central New York and making this place home?
Okay. First, there is nothing impossible. That's first thing that I learned about myself, because I left school when I was 14 years. Then I back at 20, but I just get my high school diploma. Then the war is start. We start moving out, running out. Then I came here, so I find my education is too easy to achieve. So I believe there is nothing impossible. And I think life always has big plan for us.
Grace, can you repeat the question?
Yes. So the question was, what do you feel you have learned about yourself while resettling and making home in Central New York? Yeah.
Well, for me, I've learned, first of all, when I came to the United States, I learned quite a bit. I've learned, first of all, that it's very different here than where I lived in Nepal, from my experience in the refugee camp, my community. Coming here to America has been a huge difference. But it's what it is. It's about balance, to maintain the two different cultures. So you have to come up with that balance.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's a mantra in my life too, just maintaining that balance, making sure we keep the odds and the ends in our favor.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the reasons I say that is because our culture is whatever, we're very collective. We work as a group, but then you come to America and everybody is kind of more into taking care of themselves. It's a very different system. And seeing the different ways that our community operates in the American community, it's been quite a shock. And so we really have to find a balance between the two. And that's one of the things I've learned, is how to juggle both of those at the same time.
Wow. Yeah. I taking that cultural differences and making it something to make a balance and to empower yourself. I really respect that, Manu. Thank you for sharing. Any other of our women speakers? Do you have anything to add to that you've learned about yourself through this experience, or that you are learning about yourself currently?
It's through my life and the time that I came to the United States, I learned many things, but the one thing that I'm really sure about myself is that I'm a strong girl. I'm strong enough that I can achieve my goals, and I have faced many challenges, many struggles, and I overcome them successfully. I overcome all of them, and finally I'm here and studying in one of the best universities in the world, and I will achieve my goals. And I'm strong enough. And in the future, I will be a great leader that I can help other peoples, and help the world and the people to have a better life.
I feel like I'm gonna get that on a t-shirt, like, I'm a strong leader and I believe in my future, like hashtag Tamana. So thank you for that. If anyone has anything else to add, absolutely. Take a moment if anyone has anything. Cecina, Valentina, Manu, Iman, Tamana, if you have anything else to add to that. And if not, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It was really so great to hear your stories and to hear your experiences. There's so much gratitude that I'm feeling for being here with all of you. Thank you so much. And what I will do, following up with this is I'm going to send an email with a couple of links that Bill shared with us. And then we will have the recording of this that we will share with you as well. Always feel free to reach out to me. We're hoping to be doing these kinds of community conversations throughout the rest of the spring and into the summer, which summer is coming, please believe it. But yeah, thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. Thank you so much for sharing this opportunity to hear people's stories. Life is better when we are a community. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us, and have a really great, warm night.
I appreciate you for inviting us for this event, and I appreciate everyone hearing our story. And thank you for this night, and have a good night.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been really wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, everyone, and have a good night. And thank you for hearing our stories. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Yes,
And have a
thank
good
you.
night, guys.
Yes, tell your little ones I say hi.
Thank you.